10 dirtiest cities you won't believe people actually live in. Hold your breath. Ever wondered where the world's dirtiest corners are hiding? From air so polluted, it makes your lungs scream, to trash piles so massive they could star in their own apocalyptic movie, these cities will leave you shocked and maybe a little grossed out. But hey, somebody's got to talk about it, right? Stick around, because some of the cities on this list might surprise you. Or worse, they might even be on your travel bucket list. Let's dive in, but, hold your nose. Hi friends, welcome to our channel, your go-to source for all the fascinating, shocking, and downright entertaining insights about the world we live in. Whether you're hunting for the best places to retire, curious about the most beautiful cities on the planet, or morbidly interested in the worst places to live, we've got you covered. If that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We're about to dive into the grimy underbelly of urban living with today's list of the top 10 dirtiest cities in the world. And trust me, this one's gonna get messy in all the right ways. Let's get started. So what exactly qualifies a city as one of the dirtiest in the world? Well, it's not just about litter scattered across the streets, although that definitely plays a part. To truly understand what earns a city this dubious honor, we need to look at several factors. First and foremost, there's pollution, air, water, and soil. Cities with high levels of industrialization often release harmful emissions into the atmosphere, turning blue skies into thick gray smog. Combine that with traffic congestion and exhaust fumes, and you've got a recipe for air quality so bad that stepping outside can feel like walking into a smokehouse, minus the BBQ ribs. But that's not all. Poor waste management is another major contributor. Some cities simply don't have the infrastructure to properly collect and dispose of trash, resulting in piles of garbage in the streets, clogging rivers, and even forming artificial trash mountains. These heaps of waste not only look bad, but also pose serious health risks, attracting disease-carrying pests and contaminating local water supplies. And speaking of water pollution, let's not forget rivers and lakes that have essentially turned into open sewers. In some of these cities, the water is so polluted it's no longer safe for drinking, bathing, or even looking at without getting a little queasy. Imagine living in a place where the only thing flowing more freely than water is trash. Finally, overcrowding is another piece of the puzzle. Many of the cities on this list have booming populations, often outpacing their infrastructure's ability to keep up. Overpopulation leads to more waste, more traffic, and more strain on already overburdened systems, creating a vicious cycle of filth and pollution that can feel almost impossible to break. But here's the thing, dirty cities don't just happen overnight. Most of the places we're about to talk about face a unique set of challenges, from rapid urbanization and poverty to political instability and limited resources. So, while it's easy to point fingers, these cities are often doing the best they can under difficult circumstances. That said, some are definitely faring worse than others, and that's exactly what we're here to explore. Let's get into the countdown of the dirtiest cities in the world, starting with number 10. Top 10 dirtiest cities. #10 Lagos, Nigeria. Let's kick off the list with Lagos, Nigeria, a city that's bursting at the seams in every way imaginable. Home to over 20 million people, Lagos is the most populous city in Africa, and it's no surprise that keeping a city this big clean is an uphill battle. Trash is a common sight here, piled high on street corners, in markets, and along the beaches. Waste management systems are overwhelmed and illegal dumping is rampant. To make matters worse, Lagos's air quality leaves much to be desired, with the exhaust from countless cars and industrial facilities choking the skyline. And let's talk about water pollution for a second. The city's waterways, once vital lifelines, are now drowning in waste and chemicals. Lagos might be known as the commercial heart of Nigeria, but the dirt and smog are definitely giving the economy a run for its money. It's a vibrant, energetic place, but it could really use a cleaning crew, and maybe some Febreze. #9 Delhi, India, Delhi, a city with a deep cultural heritage, buzzing markets, and some of the worst air quality on the planet. Seriously, breathing in Delhi feels more like chain-smoking a pack of cigarettes than taking a breath of fresh air. Every winter, the city is blanketed in a thick, toxic smog caused by a mix of vehicle emissions, industrial smoke, and crop burning from nearby states. The infamous Yamuna River runs through Delhi, but you'd be hard-pressed to call it a river anymore. It's more of a soup made of chemicals, garbage, and untreated sewage. And it's not just the water and air that are suffering. Trash disposal is a major issue here, too. The city's landfills are so massive that one of them, the Ghazipur landfill, is now taller than the Taj Mahal. You'd think that'd be a wake-up call, but progress is slow. Delhi is an incredible city with so much history, but when it comes to cleanliness, it's a mess. Literally. #8 Jakarta, Indonesia. Jakarta, the sprawling capital of Indonesia, is home to over 10 million people and a mountain of garbage to match. The city's rivers and canals are so clogged with trash that you'd be forgiven for mistaking them as floating dumps. In fact, Jakarta's waterways are infamous for their trash islands, where plastic bags, bottles, and all sorts of junk clump together. And let's not forget the smog. With millions of cars stuck in Jakarta's infamous traffic jams, the city's air pollution is nothing short of suffocating. The worst part? Jakarta is sinking, literally, due to excessive groundwater extraction. That means the city's already dirty rivers and canals are spilling into low-lying neighborhoods during floods, creating a toxic cocktail of sewage and garbage. For a city that's a hub of culture and commerce, it's a shame that cleanliness isn't exactly its strong suit. #7 Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi is one of the fastest-growing cities in the world, but unfortunately, its waste management system hasn't grown with it. With over 15 million residents, Karachi produces thousands of tons of garbage every day, much of which goes uncollected. Instead, it piles up on street corners, in public spaces, and even along the coastline, making parts of the city look more like a landfill than a metropolis. And then there's the air pollution. An endless parade of smoke-belching vehicles and poorly regulated industries makes Karachi's air so thick you could almost chew it. Water quality isn't much better either, with industrial waste and untreated sewage being dumped into the sea. Karachi is a city with incredible energy and potential, but until its waste problems are tackled, it'll remain one of the dirtiest cities in the world, and no amount of chai can make up for that. #6 Dhaka, Bangladesh. Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, is another city drowning in its own rapid growth. With a population of over 20 million people, the city is bursting at the seams, and so is its trash system. The streets are littered with garbage, and the Buriganga River, once a vital waterway, is now so polluted that it's more sludge than water. Industrial factories dump untreated waste directly into the river, turning it into a toxic mess. And then there's the air pollution. Thanks to constant traffic jams and brick kilns on the city's outskirts, Dhaka's air quality often ranks among the worst in the world. Breathing here feels more like surviving than living. It's a city of resilience and determination, but honestly, it could use a serious deep clean, and maybe a few hundred air purifiers. #5 Mexico City, Mexico. Mexico City is a vibrant, colorful metropolis filled with history, culture, and some of the dirtiest air you'll ever breathe. Sitting in a high-altitude valley surrounded by mountains, the city's geography creates a pollution trap, where smog from its millions of cars and factories has nowhere to go. On bad days, you can't even see the mountains because of the thick haze. But air pollution isn't the only problem. The city's trash system struggles to keep up with its population of nearly 22 million, and illegal dumping is a persistent issue. Add to that water contamination thanks to overuse of groundwater, and you've got a city that's as polluted as it is lively. Mexico City may be one of the most exciting places in the world, but for the environment, it's a bit of a nightmare. #4 Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Port-au-Prince has faced more challenges than most cities can even imagine. From devastating earthquakes to political instability, the Haitian capital has been through it all, and unfortunately, cleanliness has fallen by the wayside. Trash piles are a common sight throughout the city because the waste management system simply can't handle the volume of garbage produced. Much of this trash ends up in waterways or burned in open-air fires, releasing harmful toxins into the air. On top of that, many residents lack access to clean drinking water, with untreated waste contaminating local supplies. It's a heartbreaking situation for a city that's trying to rebuild and move forward. Port-au-Prince is full of resilience and hope, but until its infrastructure is improved, it'll remain one of the dirtiest cities in the world. #3 Kabul, Afghanistan. Kabul is a city caught between a rock and a hard place. Rapid urbanization, political conflict, and environmental challenges have turned Afghanistan's capital into a messy, chaotic hub. The city struggles with basic waste collection, meaning garbage often ends up strewn across neighborhoods or dumped in makeshift landfills. Dust storms regularly sweep through the area, adding another layer to Kabul's already poor air quality. And then there's the water. Many parts of the city don't have access to clean, reliable supplies, forcing residents to rely on polluted sources. It's a tough place to live, but the people of Kabul persevere in the face of overwhelming odds. Still, it's safe to say the city could use a little less dust and a lot more TLC. #2 Kathmandu, Nepal. Kathmandu might be nestled in the breathtaking Himalayas, but don't let that fool you. This city has some serious pollution problems. Overcrowding and poor waste management have left the streets littered with garbage, and the once pristine rivers are now polluted with untreated sewage and industrial runoff. The air isn't much better, with vehicle emissions and burning trash adding to the mix. On some days, the smog is so thick you can barely see the surrounding mountains, which is a shame, considering they're the city's biggest selling point. Kathmandu is rich in culture and history, but its environmental struggles make it clear that not all that glitters is gold or clean. #1 Ghaziabad, India, and at the top of the list, or should we say the bottom, is Ghaziabad, India. If you've never heard of it, you're not alone, but trust me, the residents of this city are all too familiar with its pollution problem. Located just outside Delhi, Ghaziabad has become infamous for its dangerously high levels of air pollution. Industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, and a lack of green spaces have turned the city into a smog-filled nightmare. The air quality index here often reaches levels so hazardous that stepping outside feels like volunteering to inhale a chimney. And it's not just the air. The city struggles with poor waste management too, with garbage piling up in public spaces and clogging drains. Ghaziabad might not be the most famous city in India, but it's certainly made a name for itself as one of the dirtiest places in the world. Congratulations, I guess? And there you have it. 10 cities that are, let's just say, in need of a major cleaning crew. While some of these cities are taking steps to improve, others are still battling the overwhelming challenges of pollution, overpopulation, and poor infrastructure. It's a reminder of just how important it is to take care of our planet, because once a place hits Ghaziabad level dirty, it's hard to turn back. If you found this video eye-opening, or if you're just relieved your city didn't make the list, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got more fascinating, funny, and sometimes downright shocking content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay clean, and maybe think twice before booking that flight to Ghaziabad. See you next time!